How do I handle scenarios that just seem to be spiraling out of control? And this is by Anonymous, so I'm going to strive to dive into it as deep as possible. I'm not sure if you're on the call, but if you are, I hope and trust it'll be some value in it. So situations that seem to spiral out of control, how do we handle that? I'm reminded of Marcus Aurelius. He was a leader in the greatest power at that point in time of the imperial army as a samurai. And he did it similar to what Socrates talked about, by emptying the mind, by allowing his mind to be emptied out of all the garbage that he wanted to see done in a certain way, a certain time, whatever. What he couldn't control, he just emptied his mind of it and went about doing what he could and what actually served him, not what he could control. There's a big difference between what we can control and what serves us. Some of the things that we can control doesn't actually serve us. And so he would empty his mind. He had, and I'll go more deeper into that, but he had scenarios where a famine came through and killed a lot of his people, and political rivals plotted against him, and his father died when he was young, and 8 of his children never seen adulthood. Yet through all of that, just crisis after crisis being thrown at him, he managed to stand up and only control the things that were very important to his future. Not what seemed good in the moment, but what supported him long term. The dichotomy of control identifies that certain things are unable to be controlled. And so we release what we can't control. By emptying the mind, we can actually fill it back up with things that support our long-term vision. Otherwise, short-term problems will fully consume the mind and cause us to act like a chicken scratching around on the dirt, looking at all the current situations and trying to solve all small problems, where sometimes if we take care of the long term, the short term tends to take care of themselves. When we think we need to control everything and we realize that we can't control, we will make short-term decisions that have long-term consequences, and we'll pay a price for them. That's why the importance of the dichotomy of control is so incredibly important, that we empty the mind and fill it back up with what's really actually is important in our life. And long term is far more important than the short term. And you might say, well, there's some short-term things that have to happen today. I get it. I understand that. If your vehicle's out of insurance and you need insurance to go operate, that's a short-term choice that has to be done. It has to be done today, but it's also connected to the long term of what you're doing long term. Now, let's say you don't need to use the vehicle today, and there's other things that are really connected to the long-term vision that need to be done that may not be so important today. But whatever it is, there are certain things that must be done on a daily basis. They just do. There's certain things that don't actually have to be done. As we have a long-term vision, it changes our short-term decision-making. But clearing the mind, allowing all the junk to get out of the mind, allows us to just settle back and realize there's certain things I'm not in control of, and I'll just let them go. Certain people, sometimes people come into our lives that have the need to be right, and we sometimes must let them be right. I'm not in control of that. I allow that to be. It is what it is. Next, move on. There's things that need to happen in life. So being able to operate like Marcus Aurelius, going through all the tragedies, going through all the adversities, and the list goes on of things that were thrown in his direction and that most would have stopped most people. He would take that moment to meditate and clear the mind. And with that, he was able to come back again and make good decisions. When our mind is clouded and fogged with all the different things that we would like to see in a certain way at a certain time, we will find ourselves not making good long-term decisions, not having good conversations, not having focused sales, or not having focused business strategies or not having focused phone calls, whatever it is. When our mind is cluttered with the need to be right and the need to be in control, the rest of it's going to suffer. But Marcus Aurelius understood that dichotomy so well that he was quick to let go of what he couldn't control in the moment. He didn't need to feel that feeling of being in control. He was okay with not having that. He was okay with doing what he could do and changing what he could change and letting go what was impossible. My challenge for all of us is, as we go about our business, if you're going to move up into levels in your business and whatever it may be far beyond that you are now, some of the things that are highly important is to let go. Let go of control. Let go of what doesn't serve you. But many of these things are around me every day. I get it. There's a lot of things that are around me every day that I don't control, can't control, I shouldn't say I don't desire to control, because my human nature desires to control it. But I know that I can't, and I shouldn't, and I must let go. Must let go of the things that I cannot control and really focus on what it is that I can and that serves my long-term vision. As there's certain things, again, I'm going to back up and say this in the closing, is there certain things we can control that we shouldn't control. There's areas where we will control things just to have the feeling of being in control. There's certain areas we will do things just because it gives us that feeling of being right. And rarely do those actually serve us. So I guess my experience in all of this is clearing my mind is probably harder than controlling any situation, because our mind wants to fill up. Ego has a whole list of things that I should be controlling. Ego has a whole list of things that I should be concerned about. The list goes on. But the clear mind doesn't waste its time on petty, unimportant situations or things to be worried with. It lets those go. It only focuses on the big picture, long term, and finds a way to navigate through tough situations. You know, sometimes things get thrown in my direction where I've had people ask, well, how you handle that? That's just throwing such a monkey wrench in what you're doing. I understand. I get it. I get that. But I haven't experienced anything like Marcus Aurelius did. And he was able to stay clear, stay focused, and stay committed to his future. And he served his people well. Yes, he had political rivals plotting against him. Yes, he had a lot of things happen. But you see, if you're going to go high up in life and really make a difference in the world, certain things that we get to give up. They need to be right and control. And if you can give up those two, you can clear your mind much easier, and you can make good choices in a way you've never done before. My challenge for every person is to be in control of yourself, but not situations and scenarios for the most part. There are times where we need to control situations to some degree, but for the most part, it's not important. For the most part, if we have a long-term vision and we're taking action in that direction, those scenarios will take care of themselves. They will unveil themselves. They will come into fruition. The right people, the right scenarios, the right situations will align themselves. And where you're looking to go will absolutely be there for you. Not without trial, not without obstacle, not without challenges, sometimes not without tragedies. I mean, none of us want that, but those do happen. And I've experienced a lot of them. But I also know that all of those were momentary. What lasted long was the decisions that I made in those momentary situations. I get to be aware that what feels right doesn't always serve long-term vision. With that being said, guys, thank you for requesting this. I'm looking forward to many people that I'll be communicating with today, and just encourage you all to have an amazing day. Clear your mind, make good choices, move forward, work hard, learn to let go of what you can't control. With that being said, guys, make it a great day, and do me a favor. As always, remember, don't settle for less than who you are. May God bless you.